There's been a lot of confusion about board resumes and how to put these documents together. And of course, if you show a resume to a couple of headhunters, everyone will give you a different opinion. But it's really important to recognize that a board resume really does have to capture quite a lot of information in a compelling 3 or 4 page document. Often people have worked in the corporate world for 20 plus years by the time they start applying for their first board appointment, and so to capture that information is really important. So you do need to understand what the board is looking for. They are looking for experience around business strategy, risk management, key issues that the board might be dealing with, whether that be cybersecurity, ESG, all the kind of current topics that are keeping boards awake at night. You need to try and capture this experience in that document. So your unique value proposition has to shine through. You have to capture a lot of work experience in a simple but compelling way. And of course, you need to showcase all the different instances where you have influenced board directors, whether that be you've reported to the board, you've served in a board-like environment, whether that be a steering committee and the like, and you've really been able to sort of influence that key strategy or strategic decisions that have been made at board level. You also need to capture who are your champions, who are your referees, and it is a huge missed opportunity to be submitting board resumes without showcasing who your referees are going to be. And of course, you want those referees to be operating at chair and board director level, people who've had some experience with you, dealing at board level, and are comfortable to speak on your behalf. Huge mistake not to go on the front foot and to showcase that information. For me, the most important page of the board resume is obviously the first page. That's usually where I make a snap-second decision about whether I'm going to interview someone. And of course, you really want to see some snapshots, career snapshots, and I like to see a history of the executive career pathway. I like to know if you've been serving in the C-suite or the executive director level suite. That's really important to quickly get my attention. And of course, I want to hear about the boards that you've served on. A lot of people are lacking the detail about the actual board work and the boards that they're serving on. And so I like to see the size of the board or the organisation that you've been on, the scale, the scope, how many employees, how many big contracts did the company have, what field was the company working in, as much detail as possible. So, when you're starting to shift towards board resumes, you really want to showcase as much of that board experience as possible. And a lot of people just say, well, I'm on this board from this date and this is the title. Well, missed opportunity there. I also want you to showcase your committee experience, because most people understand that the real work that happens in boardrooms often happens in the committees. That's where you're often formulating the ideas, putting the reports together, formulating the strategy, and pushing this through to the formal board of director meetings. So really important to showcase all the subcommittees that you work on and capture as much of that information obviously in your first page. And you also want to highlight all of your formal credentials and make sure that that's really clear, showcasing your nominals and so on. I'm surprised a lot of people will put their resume together and they forget to even mention that they are a graduate of the AICD course or they've done ex-governance type training. You must put it all there. Make it very clear. Don't allow people to try and join the dots. People just don't have time, especially if they're trying to assess a lot of candidates really quickly. So really important that you're capturing this information in a crisp and appealing document. And if your document has not been able to secure interviews for you in 2024, then you really have to think about shaking that up. What's the missing equation here? Why are you not getting out of the pile for a meaningful interview? We obviously run a board resume writing service. I'm personally involved with it. It is a stellar service. a lot of consultation goes into these documents to make sure that we end up with a document that could be sent to, really any of the nomination committees, any of the board search consultants that might be handling these assignments. And there is a bit of back and forth. So, over Christmas, New Year, this might be quite a good time to actually undertake that service. We're actually operating all through the break, so we can definitely do board resumes during this time, so that when you come into early next year, you're ready to hit the ground running. But it's really crucial that you've got a brand and a document that really stands out, and of course then you want to augment that and make sure that your LinkedIn profile is really in sync with that, so that the two documents really complement each other, because we do find that people will go and have a look at you on LinkedIn and assess your candidacy that way. And they'll probably also Google you. So just think about your complete brand from beginning to end. But a perfect time to get those resumes really up to date so that you're in a competitive position as we head into 2025.